I truly hope they and we make the best of that time, because 100 million years, it'll be up before we know it in the sea level.
You sort through tons of the wrong resumes, which makes finding a great candidate like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. That's not smart. Then there's the smart way at ZipRecruiter. Unlike other job sites, ZipRecruiter finds great candidates for you. That's why you should try it now for free. Their powerful matching technology scans thousands of resumes to identify people with the right skills, education, and experience, and actively invites them to apply to your job, so you get qualified candidates fast. And while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds what you're looking for, the needle in the haystack.
ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. That's based on hiring sites on Trustpilot with over 1,000 reviews. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Merry Christmas, everyone. This is Jim Bishop, and I'd like to take this time to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas. I think we can never say Merry Christmas too much. Who else's birth has made such a difference in our lives? Around the world, people are celebrating this birth of the Christ child, and right here at home, rejoice, a Savior is born.
This is Gilbert. Listen to me every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Gilbert Talks Taxes on 100.9 FM and 590 AM WCAB.
The Recliner Center is giving away a beautiful new leather recliner again this Christmas here on WCAB. And all you need to do is to get your Christmas cards sent in to us and wait for the drawing. All cards sent in will be in the drawing. This is an annual promotion that WCAB and the Recliner Center do together. And we want you to send your cards in today. Send them to WCAB, Post Office Box 511, Rutherford, North Carolina, 28139. Make sure you include that Post Office Box 511, and be sure you include a telephone number or your cell phone number and an address so we can find you. You can hand carry your card to us during office hours 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And you can even request your favorite Christmas song if you like, and we'll try to get those played for you over the holidays. Good luck and Merry Christmas from the Recliner Center and 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherford.
It is so easy to keep your car running clean when you visit RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash. The RS Speedy Lube can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids, vacuum out the car, pull next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers. Then pull next door to the RS Speedy Lube Automatic Car Wash. Make your car feel clean all under and all over. It's possible at RS Service Center and Speedy Lube Car Wash, Railroad Avenue, Rutherford.
It was Christmas Eve 1880 in Socorro, New Mexico. The local Methodist church was holding their annual Christmas Eve service. Brothers Abram and Onofrio Baca and cousin Antonio were at church. During the service, the boys put their muddy boots on a shawl that had dropped to the floor from a girl sitting in front of them. The girl became upset. The boys became indignant, and the parishioners, led by A.M. Conklin, led the boys from the church. As Conklin was leaving the church, the Baca boys were there to meet him. The boys grabbed Conklin, shoved him against the church, and shot him. Even though no one saw the shooting, everyone knew who did it. 4 days later, a posse caught up with cousin Antonio and jailed him. But within 48 hours, his cousins had slipped him a pistol. In the escape attempt, Antonio was killed. Brothers Abram and Onofrio bugged out to the El Paso, Texas area, where the Texas Rangers discovered them. Abram was arrested and returned to Socorro. Onofrio went to Mexico. But being in Mexico didn't save him. The Texas Rangers were noted for not letting something as minor as a foreign country's border keep them from getting their man. And Texas Ranger James Gillett went to Mexico and got Onofrio. When Gillett got him to Socorro, it was decided just to get the whole business over with and lynch him. With two of the Baca boys dead, Abram was tried and found innocent. Justice in the Old West sure was strange. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Now here is Deputy Lynn with our report from the Sheriff's Department here in Rutherford County. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
Doing great. Tell us what's been happening in the past 24 hours.
Past 24 hours, we've had 95 calls for service. Looks like been 6 arrests and 153 in the jail. On incident reports, Lester Scott Nichols reported obtaining property by false pretense and identity theft. Rick Gene Bloomfield reported misdemeanor larceny. It looks like a chainsaw was stolen. And then on the arrest reports, we got Najee Jamal Green was arrested on failure to comply with child support, given a $500 bond. Anthony Koshan Hughes was arrested on failure to appear on a misdemeanor and was given a $500 bond. Georgina Ann West was arrested on 2 counts of violation of domestic violence protection order, and she was given no bond. Jeffrey Scott Toney was arrested for possession of Schedule II controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of marijuana paraphernalia, was given a $2,500 secure bond. And Tina Marie Hemrick was arrested on failure to appear on a misdemeanor and was given a $1,000 secure bond. And that's all I got for you.
Officer Lynn, thank you so very much. You be safe out there today.
Thanks, sir. I will.
Bye-bye. 17 after the hour. Rutherford Regional Health System now features its walk-in services at Forest City Family Care at 212 Allendale Drive, Forest City, just behind the Tri-City Mall. Those needing walk-in care enjoy the same great services, but now at the new location. They continue to operate Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. The scope of services remain unchanged for the walk-in patients. When you don't have an appointment but need to be seen quickly, we hope you'll choose the walk-in services now located at the rear entrance of Forest City Family Care. Tonight, special programming here on WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM is Scrooge. You remember the old radio show of Scrooge? It's been around a long, long time, and we'll be airing that again this evening right here. And you can join us at 7 o'clock this evening for that Scrooge show. And here's Laurel now with the radio report from 911 Communications Center. Laurel, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report today?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 430 911 calls, administrative calls, which consisted of 41 for EMS, 25 for rescue, 95 for the Sheriff's Office, 54 for Forest City, 4 for Lake Lure, 24 for Rutherfordton, 44 for Spindale. Shingle Hall had a structure fire just by Green Hill and Bills Creek. Bostic had a motor vehicle accident. Ellenboro had a motor vehicle accident. Forest City had a motor vehicle accident. And Lake Lure had a motor vehicle accident. And that's it.
Thanks, Laura. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye. Well, Santa Claus has been over to Henson Building Material. Picks out a few things for Dad, Mom, and even that newly formed family that's getting started, doing a little puttering around the house, do their own fix-em-up. Well, go by Henson Building Material and see for yourself what some smart ideas are over there. And I'm recommending highly this Ring video doorbell system. Great for any family. You've seen probably advertised on TV. Hook that up, very easy to install and take a lot of work to get that installed. And you can hook that into your iPhone, and you can see who's at the door. You can talk to them. It's really quite fascinating. Very inexpensive, too. And you can't beat the Henson price on 7 1/4-inch circular saw. It's less than $100. They have a selection of a lot of things like that make great gifts for that person that would appreciate something more than just another shirt. Not that shirts aren't good, but sometimes these kind of things last a long, long time. And these special prices that Henson Building Material has right now will be ending here December 31st. The special pricing for December will be ending, so go ahead and take advantage of it. Make it a Henson Building Material Christmas this year. Duke Street, Forest City. They're more than just a lumberyard. Here's Ruby Taylor with a report from Danieltown, SDO 5 District. Ruby, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report today?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Cecil Vickers, Gary Thompson, and Christy Baynard having birthdays. Mr. and Ms. Arthur Rollins is having an anniversary today, and hope all these people have a nice day. Then tomorrow, James Cole, Janice Cole, and Hunter Walker's having birthdays tomorrow. Hope they have a nice day. Then Sunday, Scott Bridges is having a birthday, and hope he has a nice day. And the signs are in the arms today, going to the breast tomorrow and Sunday. And that's all I got, Jim.
Thanks very much, Ruby. Enjoy your weekend.
You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye. The entire team at Crow's Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you with options available. They will help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved one. During this time, it's important to turn to someone you can trust and depend on. Crow's Mortuary and Crow's Mortuary and Crematory has a long history of trust and dependability. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory. That's 286-2304.
Save-A-Lot Grocery, White Oak Plaza, Spindale has hundreds of super low prices on most of your favorite name brand items. They have 500 plus prices lowered across the entire store. Stock up on fresh meats, produce, frozen foods, snack foods, and your favorite beverages and pastries. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 9, Sunday, 10 to 8. Save-A-Lot Grocery, White Oak Plaza, Spindale.
It's 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're heading up toward Rumbling Ball this morning. Homer's on duty today and probably through the weekend. Homer, how you doing today?
Doing good. How are y'all?
Oh, good. You're on duty all weekend?
Half of the weekend.
Yeah, well, that's not too bad, is it?
No, I'm off every Sunday and Monday. That's my 2 normal days off. So I'll be here tomorrow, first half, but not the second half.
All right. You're all ready for Santa Claus, I guess?
Ready for Santa Claus, I think.
Well, when the bills start coming in, you'll know.
You're exactly right.
What's going on up there?
Not a whole lot. Just today's another repeat of yesterday. Come in, it was pouring down raining. It is currently raining pretty hard now. A lot of fog over the valley, so everybody out traveling, please be careful. A lot of wet roads, water puddling, a lot of fog. Temperature-wise, 48 at midnight. It is 50 currently. We just checked the rain gauge, and there was an inch in there, but I think somebody probably emptied it because we had at least an inch and a half or more yesterday.
Yeah.
So, but there's an inch in there. I'm saying we've had at least a couple of inches of rain so far, and it's still raining. I think after today we should be good as far as the rain. Not a lot going on. The golf courses are not open due to all the water and stuff on the golf course, so nobody will be playing golf today. Restaurants and stuff's open. Kind of slow up here right now, but we'll be picking up around the Christmas holidays and then again around New Year's. No other announcements or anything to make. Other than that, looks like it's going to be kind of a wet, dreary weekend here at Rumbling Ball.
All right, Homer, enjoy yourself and take care of everything. And it is a good reminder about the rain. It's easy to hydroplane with all this rain on the road, so people really need to slow down.
Yeah, just take a little extra time, drive slow, and be careful out there.
Exactly right. See you next time, Homer.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye. 7:24 right now. It's time for us to head over across town to Southern Carpet. That's where you find carpets, hardwood, laminates, ceramic tile, luxury vinyl, sheet vinyl. They got that beautiful Tarkett flooring that's both beautiful and resilient, and they've got time to help you find just what you're looking for. They'll be right there for you. They don't pressure you. They don't push you up into the walls. I think this is best for you. They'll help answer your questions, so that's what you like. It's good Southern hospitality you'll find at Southern Carpet. They're proud and offer American-made products whenever possible. You'll find them over at Forest City. They've been doing business for home folks and folks outside this area a long time. They do a lot of floors for a lot of people, beach homes, mountain homes, homes you live in. Go see them, 1512 West Main Street, Forest City. That phone number is 828-245-0310. Open daily 8 to 5, Saturday 8:30 to noon. We close Sunday. We close for some of the holidays, so check with them and find out the best time for you to come by and take a look at some brand new floors.
43 years experience behind the name, voted best of best 8 years. That's why folks depend on Hutchins Pest Control. You can call on Tim and his team for moisture control, waterproofing, mold remediation, air quality control, dehumidification, and of course, pest control, rats, fire ants, termites, wildlife removal, and so much more. Call them today for your free estimate. 287-5171. Get the job done by the professionals and relax. Hutchins Pest Control, honest, dependable, and on-time service.
Now, up in Hudlow, here's Bob Hodge. He has a report for us on this Friday morning. Bob, good morning.
Well, good morning.
You a little dry up there, or are you getting a little rain?
It's coming down in bucketfuls over here this morning.
I'll tell you, it is.
It comes waves of rain over here, and it just pours for a while, and then it stops there. So
Chewy, it rained all night, and early this morning I woke up, heard it pounding on the roof. I thought, man, it's raining out there.
I know it. Boy, the ground's getting rotten out there. If you get off in the dirt or drays there, you'll mire up there down. So
Yes, sir.
that water table should be way up there now.
Yeah, it should be.
But
I'm going to check with our weatherman a little after 8 o'clock this morning if he's available to sort of tell him how much rain we've had, where our statistics are in terms of how much rain we've had all year long. We'll check that over time.
I figure it's a whole lot there, I tell you. This year it's been a wet fall there. Usually it dries sometime during the fall.
Yeah.
But this year it's been pretty wet all fall. And today is the first day of winter.
It sure is. Shortest day of the year.
Shortest day of the year there. It'll be dark before 5 o'clock today there. I'll be wanting to go to bed at 7 o'clock. Oh, these long nights there.
Yes.
I don't believe I'd love to live up in Alaska, up there where it's dark so many months out of the year there.
It takes some getting used to, I'll tell you.
I know it. Well, Jim, up here during the night with the fire department, no fire calls so far, so that's good. And birthdays for Sunday, Jennifer Hodge. And, Jim, that's about it. I'll try to get over there after a while, sometime or another, and bring some of these gifts there. And, when it stops raining or between showers of rain, I'll jump in the old truck and take off there.
Little break between the downpours.
That's right, between the downpours.
Well, be careful, Bob, when you come over. Be careful.
Well, okay then. Y'all take care.
See you after a while.
All right, bye-bye.
That's Bob Hodge. Always a pleasure to talk with Bob over in the Hudlow Fire District. And you can catch Bob most afternoons with Tom Green with the Afternoon Report also.
George is doing it again. Check out these prices at Farmer's Friend. Feed, seed, and supply. Deer apples, $7.99 a bag. Peanut deer mix, $12.99 for a 50-pound bag. Cedar shavings, $6.99 while supplies last. Fish mocks, $15.99 for a 100 count. Propane is only $10.99 for a 20-pound tank. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply has the best price on dog food. Victor High Pro Plus, just $32.29 for a 40-pound bag. Call on Farmer's Friend for Wrangler, Sweet Feed, and so much more. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply, 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton.
Gregory's Original Restaurant in the Park Lane Plaza is the perfect dining choice of Rutherford County. Greg offers all your favorite dishes. Try their delicious subs, grinders, pasta, chicken, burgers, fresh garden salads, and the most delicious steaks served with mushroom gravy or peppers and onions. Be sure to call on Gregory's for all your catering needs at 287-2171. Check out the website for menus and event information, www.gregorysoriginal.com. Gregory's in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton.
McCurry Deck Motors has been providing the stylish Buick for families for generations. Come browse a new selection and you'll find the car that everybody's talking about. The family-owned dealership is deeply entrenched in our community. They understand the needs of the customers and will work with them to find the perfect car, truck, or crossover for their lives. Experience the new Buick at McCurry Deck Motors. Take a look around the website to learn more about everything offered at McCurry Deck Motors, 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City. Union Mill's our next stop. And Brenda Kelly, good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this fabulous rainy Friday?
I'm wet.
I'm telling you, it has just poured down.
I tell you,
goodness gracious.
You're going to stop here pretty soon, though. We'll have a beautiful weekend.
Are we?
Yeah.
Is it supposed to taper off today?
Yes.
Well, good.
Yes.
Good. Yeah.
Sometime by tonight, we should have only scattered showers tonight. But the temperature is going to drop to around 33. That wind chill value tonight's going to be around 28.
Oh, my goodness.
Wind gusting to 18 miles per hour. So it's going to be a cold one this evening.
We go from one extreme to the other, don't we?
We do, exactly right. We don't like our weather hanging around a little bit. It's going to change.
That's exactly right. I've got 46 degrees on the front porch, and then since it started raining yesterday morning, I had 3 inches of rain in the rain gauge. That's a lot of rain, but it's just been monsoon ever since it started. I don't think it's slacked up. It's got worse.
I know it.
But today's the first day of winter. It's the shortest day.
It is.
But after today, they start getting longer.
They do. That's right. It'll be
That's
springtime
right.
before you know it.
I know it. It will. That's right. By the end of January, you'll be able to tell it in the afternoons.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I've had enough of this dark, dreary winter.
Yeah, I'm about ready for spring. It feels like winter's been a long way. It's only been a short time, but it seemed like it's been forever.
I know it, and it just started today. Winter's actually just started today, so we've still got winter to go. But it seems like it's been winter ever since Thanksgiving.
I know it.
Yeah. But we hope everybody's having a good day. And remember, today's the last day you can help the Christmas family down at WCAB. Y'all going to be leaving at what time, 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, then. Everybody that hadn't got that done, get on the ball and get her done. Today's the day.
Get her done.
Birthdays today, I've got Margie Ward. I don't have any on round here, so we hope all these people have a great old big day on their special day. I don't have any announcements. Don't know of anything going on except the rain. And that's all I got.
Well, I've learned to not to. I'm talking about always having a little trouble with my weight this time of year. Eat too much, my belly starts punching out there. I've learned not to wash my hair in the shower. I don't know why I didn't figure this out sooner. I use shampoo in the shower. When I wash my hair, the shampoo runs down my body, and printed very clearly on the shampoo label is a warning for extra body and volume. So it keeps running down. No wonder I've been gaining weight.
Blame it on the shampoo.
I got rid of that shampoo, and I'm going to start showering with Dawn dishwashing soap instead, because on that label it says dissolves fat that is otherwise difficult to remove.
Only you would think of that. But we all need a good laugh, don't we?
We do need a good laugh, and
that's right.
We need a good brownie once in a while too.
That's exactly right. That's right. That was cute. I enjoyed that.
Well, listen, I hope you are careful up there and be good to your neighbor.
I'm trying my best to be. You have a good one.
See you, Brenda. Thanks.
Catch you later.
Bye-bye. 7:34 here this morning on the Friday morning edition of the Morning Wake Up Call. Christmas cards are coming in plentifully. We've got a lot. We're going to get some more today. It's too late to mail them. We will not get them in time. We have to have those in our hands by 8 o'clock Monday morning. We'll be drawing a little after 8:30. J.D. Marie Shook will be here from the Recliner Center. They always delight in giving away a nice, beautiful leather recliner, and we're always happy to work with them on that. So somebody who has sent a card in, all those cards will be in the box, and we'll draw one out. Somebody's going to win that recliner. And we've had a bunch sent in. It's too late to mail it because we would not get it in time for the drawing on Monday. But if you want to bring it by here, you can certainly do that. 191 Whiteside Road is where we're located, and we'll put it in the box anyway. We've had quite a few brought by, hand-carried to us, save a stamp, and passing us away anyway. But don't take a chance of mailing it, because I don't think it would get to us. For mail today, probably, I doubt it would even get here tomorrow. And certainly we will not check the mail Monday until after 10 o'clock. So it'd be too late for that. So don't try to mail it at this point. Just get it to us by hand if you can. Now we're going over to Ellenboro with a report from that part of our county in just a moment.
It's time for you to test drive the affordable, fuel-efficient Ford Fusion from Sisk Family Ford in Forest City. Family-owned Sisk Ford can put you into the car you want with a payment plan you can appreciate. If it's a truck you want, get the Ford truck that's breaking records in sales. Ask about why the sales department is being bragged on with each and every sale that they make. They love your business at Sisk Family Ford, and it shows. New and used automobiles and an award-winning service department makes Sisk Family Ford the choice for so many. Step up to Ford today. Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
It's 7:36 on this Friday morning, and we've been getting a lot of heavy rain. We're going over to Ellenboro right now, though, and talk with Luther Gilligan. Luther, good morning.
Good morning. Not raining here.
I hope you'll stay out of the rain today, because I'd sure hate to see you melt.
I probably will. I had to stay inside all day yesterday.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Get wet out there.
We couldn't get along without you.
Well, I couldn't get along without me either. I'm going to try to hang around.
Good.
Everybody needs a little sweetness in their life. It's a good day down here. Though we're gonna out here. We're gonna have a good time today. Don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to stay on the hard surface. Because if you get off the hard surface, you're in the mud. It's sort of damp down here. But like I say, it's not raining right now, so we'll see what happens. It's fairly quiet yesterday and last night. The fire department, they had one accident yesterday afternoon down at Baltimore Road. And then he's out on medical call now. Other than that, nothing else going on. Everybody just trying to get this last day in. Most people be off Monday and Tuesday. Some of them off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Some of them off the whole week. And they have a good time. Let's see what we have. Birthday today, Frank McGinnis, he's having one. And Marty and Ann Boyd down here, they're having a wedding anniversary today. So hope these people have a great day and enjoy their day. Jim, you have a great day up there. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
I'll see you Monday, Luther. Thanks so much. Have a good one.
All right, take care now.
Bye. That's Mr. Gilligan there in Ellenboro reporting from the fire district and other points there beyond. If you are celebrating a birthday for this 21st day of December, we'd love to hear from you. Call us now, and we'll put you in the drawing for some delicious daylight donuts from Granny B's. Boy, if you haven't had those donuts, you're missing something. Call your birthday in and anniversary in. We'll put it all together, have a name drawing, and announce who it is, and you get to win some donuts. The phone number is 287-3356. Birthdays and anniversaries coming up. It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide daycare services for an aging parent or loved one. Rutherford Life Care can be just what you're looking for. Rutherford Life Care offers adults a safe and fun place during the day for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and daily activities. Rutherford Life is licensed by the state of North Carolina Division of Aging. Call them today and let them answer questions you may have. That's 288-1697, 288-1697. Rutherford Life offers a staff of professionals who show the love and compassion that you entrust your loved ones to. That's Rutherford Life Care Services, located on Thunder Road, Spindale. Again, that phone number is 288-1697. For a positive change in your life, take on Miracle Ear. If you're beginning to experience difficulty in hearing, it's time to remedy that, and there's ways to do that with Miracle Ear. Lisa Terry has some answers for you if you want to go by there and talk with her about it. Have that free hearing test, and no cost or obligation whatsoever. And if you decide you want to move further, then Lisa can certainly help you make that choice. They have a lot of choices there at Miracle Ear. Miracle Ear is a worldwide recognized company, made in America product, A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They're right here locally in Forest City at 1512 West Main Street, Suite 102. And over in Shelby, you'll find them at 1506 East Dixon Boulevard. Check them out on the web also at Miracle Ear, and find out more about this amazing product. Get back in the action with better hearing. The Miracle Ear way.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Christmas in Rutherford County starts with a stop at the Recliner Center. With winter coming, you'll be spending more and more time indoors, so be comfortable and stylish with a new sofa, love seat, or an Ultra Comfort lift chair. And with company coming in for the holidays, what better time to purchase new Spring Air mattresses? You've heard us tell you doctors have said a good night's rest is important for good health, and Spring Air is dedicated to giving you the best in quality comfort and support. New merchandise is arriving daily. JD and Marie Shook want to thank you, their friends and loyal customers, for your business, thoughts, and prayers this past year. And they want to wish for all of you a very Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year. Their hours are Wednesday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 9 to 2. That's the Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton. And Merry Christmas from everybody at the Recliner Center.
You know, when you need a plumber, you want someone with a reputation of getting right out to you and getting the job done for you the right way. That'll be Olmsted Plumbing. Since 1973, the Olmsted family has been serving homeowners and builders with the best of service. From unclogging a drain to replacing fixtures and appliances to remodeling jobs, their top quality work, fair prices, and punctual service has made them the area's leading plumbing firm. Eric and Chad are continuing that family tradition, and they'd like to serve you. Call 245-7302. Experience plus equipment equals excellence. Olmsted Plumbing at 245-7302. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today. While they're fresh, they're good, they're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Oh, goodness gracious. What happened to that voice? Tyler McHenry, let's see, Tyler Matheny is having a birthday. Tyler's 13, goes to Thomas Jefferson Middle School. I want to wish Tyler a happy birthday. Also celebrating is Michelle McGinnis over at Chase Community. John Cook over in Ellenboro. Linda Cunningham and Sandy Mush is having a birthday. Leach Byers also celebrating a birthday. Horace Tipton over Sunnyview, Polk County. Want to wish those folks a happy birthday as well. And let's see on the calendar. For the 21st, we have Margie Ward also celebrating. So happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Got another one, Todd? Mr. and Miss Boyce Radford Senior's anniversary. 58 years. Well, congratulations to them. We'll find out who's going to win the donuts here in just a moment.
The first Noel, the angel did say, was too certain for shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping
Has a friend ever confided in you that they failed to express words of love and thanks to a recently deceased friend? That they wish they had taken opportunities in the weeks and years past to say thank you, or I love you, or I'm sorry? The following poem by an unknown author says it well. It goes like this. Too often we don't realize what we have until it's gone. Too often we wait too late to say I'm sorry, I was wrong. Sometimes it seems we hurt the ones we hold dearest to our hearts, and we allow such foolish things to tear our lives apart. Far too many times we let unimportant things into our minds, and then it's usually too late to see what made us blind. So be sure that you let people know how much they mean to you. Take the time to say the words before your time is through. Be sure that you appreciate everything you've got, and be thankful for the little things in life that meant a lot. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. You cannot do anything about the past, but you can change things from this day forward. You can begin today to let those who are dear to you know how much you care for them. I remember a college professor reminding us that we should give bouquets to loved ones before their funeral. His advice still makes good sense. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are sold in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
And a big congratulations going out to Horace Tipton of Sunnyview. He's won the Daylight Donuts this morning, so Horace, congratulations. We'll have a certificate over here at 191 Whiteside Road. Come by, pick that up. Take it over to Granny B's. I know you will enjoy those donuts. Now, coming up the third hour of the Morning Wake Up Call. Got a lot to pack in this next hour, so hang around with us. 8:30 this morning, Word of Faith continues to speak out all right here live in our studios at WCAB. Meanwhile, enjoy more music from the holidays right here. Your Christmas music station is WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM.
Christmas future is far away. Christmas past is past. Christmas present is here today, bringing joy that will last. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together if the fates allow. Hang your shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Here we are as in olden days, If the fates allow, hang your shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
Excuse my English, but ain't that pretty? Ain't that pretty? That's the Neelums singing it. Have yourself a Merry Christmas. News coming up in just a few moments. We'll update you on what's happening. Got a story to tell you about the GoFundMe page of building that wall. You'll be impressed with that, I think.
WCAB News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. Congress is racing against a midnight deadline to avoid a partial government shutdown. Nancy Cordes reports from Capitol Hill.
The Senate comes back into session at noon today to vote, and a lot of senators thought that their work was done for the year. They left, and now they're on flights racing back on one of the busiest travel days of the year. The president himself was slated to head to Florida, to Mar-a-Lago today, but his aides say that he won't be traveling if there's a shutdown.
The state Republican Party is standing by its candidate even as the investigation of election irregularities heats up in the 9th Congressional District. A campaign worker for Republican Mark Harris, who leads Democrat Dan McCready by about 900 votes in the still unofficial election, is under criminal investigation for a past election fraud. Governor Roy Cooper is trying to help bring relief to Hurricane Florence victims, but with a government shutdown looming, there's uncertainty about how that might impact funding for relief efforts. Cooper tells CBS 17 that for now, many are helping in the relief affairs.
It's a message to all North Carolinians that we need to pull together and all of us chip in.
Arrivals and departures have resumed at Gatwick Airport, the second largest in Britain. This after a drone sighting shut down its runway late Wednesday, stranding tens of thousands of travelers. However, officials say they have not found whoever's caused the disruption. British Transportation Secretary Chris Grayling.
This is a criminal offence. The people who carried it out are liable to get several years in prison.
With Christmas just 4 days away, holiday travel was shifting into overdrive, with air travel at Raleigh-Durham International Airport expected to soar. Tanya Bartos from Cary was in line early as she tried to make a 6 a.m. flight today, telling WREL-TV.
It's moving, though. It's not bad. We've been in longer lines here.
You're listening to NCN News.
At AT&T, we believe that access to affordable home internet brings you incredible opportunities. You can enjoy the power to explore a digital world of possibilities and connect with family, friends, and the things that matter most. That's why there's access from AT&T. If a member of your household is a SNAP participant, you may qualify for home internet at a discounted rate of $10 a month. No commitment, no deposit, no installation fee. Plus, get an in-home Wi-Fi gateway at no extra cost. Call 1-855-220-5211 or visit att.com/aware to learn more.
SNAP refers to the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Pricing excludes tax. Service will include a monthly data allowance depending on the type and speed of service you receive. If you exceed your monthly data plan allowance, you will be automatically charged $10 for each 50 gigabytes of data usage in excess of your data plan, even if less than 50 gigabytes is used. For details about data allowances, go to att.com/internet-usage. Wi-Fi enabled device required. Other restrictions apply.
Election officials say a local North Carolina sheriff's candidate shouldn't have taken office while formal protests in the race are pending. State Board spokesman Pat Gannon confirmed Thursday the Columbus County Elections Board was told this week not to issue a certificate in the race between incumbent Lewis Hatcher and challenger Jody Green. There's another warning from U.S.-backed Kurds in Syria that a U.S. withdrawal could have grave consequences.
The U.S.-backed Kurdish forces fighting Islamic State have been
capturing foreign fighters on the battlefield in Syria. As their numbers grew, Defense Secretary Mattis tried unsuccessfully to convince countries to take back their nationals. But very few allies stepped up, including Britain and France. Part of the problem was the legal ramifications of holding citizens who were picked up on the battlefield and how to prosecute them. Now the Kurds say if U.S. forces withdraw, they may have to release prisoners.
State Treasurer Dale Folwell says he has a gift for state employees coming in 2019. The Treasurer has announced a fee holiday for public employees investing in 401k and 457 supplemental retirement plans. Normally, participants are charged an administrative fee.
What we're doing is we're taking advantage of our largeness, running the plan more efficiently, negotiating great contracts, and then when that happens, in this particular case, we're actually literally sharing it completely with the people that this money actually belongs to.
Waiting until the last minute to do your Christmas shopping? You're far from being alone. More from CBS correspondent Peter King.
A National Retail Federation survey shows more than 40% of those asked say they'll finish their shopping today. About a quarter say they'll wrap it up this weekend, more than half shopping tomorrow, the day retailers call Super Saturday. As for the real procrastinators, about 7% of those surveyed say they'll still be shopping on Christmas Eve, and 4% say their gifts will be late. Peter King, CBS News.
Mike Riley.
Your Christmas music station for the foothills is WCAB Rutherfordton. Stay with us throughout the season for your favorites. WCAB Rutherfordton.
I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump tweeting this morning threatening a shutdown that will last a very long time if, in his words, Democrats in the Senate don't approve $5 billion for the border wall. The partial shutdown looming at midnight if Congress and the White House can't reach a budget deal. At the White House, ABC's Karen Travers.
President Trump this morning putting pressure on Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, writing on Twitter that McConnell should fight for the wall and border security and try to pass the funding bill the House approved Thursday, which included $5 billion for the border wall he wants. The president writing, quote, if enough Dems don't vote, it will be a Democrat shutdown. But last week, the president said in the Oval Office he would own a shutdown and he would take the mantle.
I am proud to shut down the government for border security.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Defense Secretary James Mattis now set to step down at the end of February. ABC News Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz.
This is the most consequential resignation from Trump's cabinet yet. Jim Mattis brought vast experience, gravitas, and a steady hand. He is adored by those who have served with him, but he simply could no longer tolerate the differences he had with this president.
This comes as sources tell ABC News. The president wants to cut the current U.S. force in Afghanistan, about 14,000 troops, in half. Gatwick Airport in London back up and running after drones forced it to shut down for about 36 hours. Airport Chief Operating Officer Chris Woodworth.
I feel terrible for the 110,000 passengers yesterday, the 10,000 passengers on Wednesday, and the people going into the weekend whose flights would be disrupted. But ultimately, my priority has to be their safety.
Wall Street getting ready to get back to work after the Dow was down again, off another 464 points. Susan Schmidt at Avena Investors.
We've had a very long recovery, and sooner or later it has to end. Everyone's very nervous right now, and I think that's what we're seeing in the market.
Right now, market futures pointing toward a slightly lower open. You're listening to ABC News.
It's time to join the millions of people that meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Zoom gives you flawless video, crystal clear audio, and instant sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit Zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's Zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
Get ready to feel the difference of the new Tomorrow Hybrid mattress. Designed by the world's leading sleep experts at Serta Simmons Bedding, the Tomorrow Hybrid mattress combines the luxurious comfort of memory foam with the unrivaled support of individually wrapped coils. Sleep cooler with no motion transfer. Try the Tomorrow Hybrid mattress for a full year risk-free. For 15% off your total purchase, use promo code AWAKE5, tomorrowsleep.com.
Ford is recalling more than 400,000 pickup trucks amid worries that the engine block heaters could catch fire. The recall covers F-Series trucks from 2015 through 2019 model years. In Colorado, police have been back at the home of missing mom Kelsey Barrett. Investigators also appear to be focusing more on her fiancé, Patrick Frazee, ABC's Clayton Sandell.
A 29-year-old mother and pilot last seen Thanksgiving Day at a grocery store with the couple's 1-year-old daughter. Frazie's lawyer says he continues to cooperate. Now, police wanted to speak with him in person. We don't yet know if that has happened. For now, they are not calling Frazee a suspect.
It now looks like fines weren't necessary for Obamacare to work. ABC's Chuck Severson.
Numbers released this week by the government show just a slight dip in the number of people enrolled in Affordable Care Act coverage next year through healthcare.gov, even though the Republican-led Congress repealed fines for being uninsured. The drop from 8.8 million to 8.5 million is far less than experts forecast. This could undercut a Texas federal court case in which a Republican-appointed judge recently declared Obamacare unconstitutional since the fines no longer exist.
For the second time in the last few weeks, a court has found Apple infringed on patents held by tech company Qualcomm. This time the ruling in Germany could lead to a sales ban of several models of the iPhone, from the iPhone 7 through the 10. A Chinese court made a similar ruling last month. This is ABC News.
It's time to join the millions of people using Zoom video conferencing. Turn any size conference room, huddle room, or executive office into a Zoom room with flawless HD video, crystal clear audio, and instant wireless sharing. It'll even work with your existing hardware. Start your meetings with a single touch or use Zoom's new voice command feature. Hey Zoom, start meeting. Huddle happy. Visit zoom.us to set up your free Zoom room trial today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Enjoy the burger of the month for December at Jesse James Railroad Express, located on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. It's called the Tombstone Burger. It's a quarter-pound Angus beef with mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato, and fresh bacon, all sandwiched in between 2 grilled cheese sandwiches. Get yours today, but only at Jesse James Railroad Express. Ask for the Tombstone.
We're still under the influence of low pressure. That means plenty of clouds today. Rain is in the forecast. Have the umbrellas ready. And temperatures may be a touch warmer than they were yesterday afternoon. Our highs in the mid to upper 50s. Tonight, a chance for rain this evening with some cloud cover, but it clears out overnight. It's breezy and colder. The low in the mid to upper 30s. Saturday, Sunday, both look like pretty nice days, although Saturday will be the brightest. Breezy Saturday with a high temperature in the lower to mid 50s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Thanks so much, Mike. It's cleared off a little bit. Not cleared off, but it's slowed down a little bit out there. The rain deluge is not upon us. We just sort of, maybe we're in a lull before the next one, you think? It would be possible to have no more rain, but not likely. 100% chance of it throughout today with 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch possible. We're going to try to get in touch with Tom in just a few moments, Tom Roop, see what kind of rain we've had in his gauge up there where he studies these things and writes the statistics down. Todd's on the other phone line right now. I can't get out to him, but we'll try to work that out here in just a few moments and see what kind of weather results we get from Tom this morning right here on WCAB, the most information for the foothills. Congratulations to Horace Tipton of Sunnyview. Horace won the Daylight Donuts this morning. Congratulations, Horace. You're the lucky man today. You get to enjoy those donuts and share them with some friends because there's about a dozen of them. And just come by here and get that certificate, take it over to Granny B's, and they will fix you right up. We got a pretty good weekend, sunny on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Christmas Day is going to be kind of nice. Looks like it's going to be a pretty good day, partly cloudy, highs around 53, partly cloudy with scattered showers Christmas Eve night, lows around 37, but only a 40% chance of that happening. We'll check in with the Sheriff's Department in this report also. Got some reporting to do with some local stuff. 8:30 this morning, Word of Faith will be here in the studio to talk about their side of the story, get their side of the story out. You've been hearing everybody else's side. Now it's time you heard their side. And we've been doing this now with them for about a little over a year, and we continue that broadcast this morning at 8:30. If you've never heard that side of the story, please tune in this morning at 8:30.
A gift is so much more than what's hidden beneath its shiny wrapping. It's the excitement and anticipation you feel right before you open it. It's the frenzy of thoughts that rush through your mind of what it could be, and it's the thrill of finally knowing the unknown. A gift holds limitless potential. It lets us dream a little. Capture their hearts and their imaginations with a gift that's full of possibility. Holiday scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery with more than $40 million in total prizes. These gifts are full of the wonder of what if. And there's a holiday scratch-off for everyone on your list, like Holiday Cash, the first see-through scratch-off ticket. It's clearly a good choice. Or maybe Merry and Bright with a top prize of $1 million. Now that's a lot to dream about. Or Happy Holiday gift tag-styled scratch-offs. There's no better present topper. This holiday season, give the gift of a dream. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.22 to 4.76. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Now let's talk to the man to go to when he comes to keeping weather stats and weather information for us, Tom Rupp. He's up on the phone with me right now. Tom, how you doing this morning?
I'm fine. How about you?
I'm a little sogged in over here this morning, but everything's going great. Tell us what's on. What kind of rain depths have we had so far?
Well, it's I've got several sets of numbers I'll give you. For the last 24 hours, we've had 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches of rain. For the month, we've had 5.45, and the average for the month is 460. Wow. And average for the year is 55 inches, and presently we are 13.25 over for the year.
Wow, that's something.
And up here, it is the clouds are breaking, and the fog is starting to rise off of the creeks, and the cloud formation is moving to the north, so I guess that's all that coming up from the south. So, but anyway, we're expecting more.
Yeah, looks like we may get some more, but it's going away for the weekend, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I checked on a computer this morning, and all of our surrounding counties, Polk, Burke, McDowell, and Buncombe, all of them are reporting just about what I have reported, 2.5 inches.
Wow.
But it's more coming.
So we have broken records this year in terms of rainfall amount so far, and the month's not over with.
No, we still got another week to go, and we're 13 inches over for the year, so it wouldn't surprise me if we were 14 or better.
Wow. Well, that's amazing, interesting information. Tom, I appreciate you letting us check in with you, and you keep those stats up there, and we'll check in with you. When we get that next snowfall, we'll call you and see how much snow we had.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom. You have a Merry Christmas.
Okay, Merry Christmas to you and all the listeners.
Thanks, Tom. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good friend up there, Tom. Appreciate him checking in with us like that. 8 minutes, it's 11 minutes after 8 o'clock. We've got the news from here and there coming up.
It's a 5-star holiday this year at Bark Mobile. A you're the best dad in the whole world ever kind of holiday, where you can get 5 free smartphones and super excited reviews from your whole family without spending a single extra dollar. You can even get them 5 lines of unlimited data for only $125 a month. Visit our Spindale or Forest City stores for a 5-star holiday. Bark Mobile. Mobile made easy. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Thanks for checking in with us each morning. We appreciate you making WCAB 100.9 FM and 590 AM your radio station of choice to tune into. Thank you so very much. And be with us throughout the weekend. We've got a lot of great programming coming up. Tonight, for instance, you can hear the Scrooge. You remember the story of Scrooge? Bah, humbug. Well, he'll be on tonight at 7 o'clock, that old radio drama. Enjoy that. At 8 o'clock to 11, it's the Gaither Homecoming Christmas show. Tomorrow, of course, it's UNC versus Kentucky. That's a 4 o'clock countdown. And then we have Gilbert Talks Taxes in the morning at 8 o'clock. Then on Sunday, Gaither Homecoming at 6 o'clock, and programs of inspiration from 7 all the way through noontime, and the Atlanta Falcons and Panthers will be playing at 12 noon. So then we start on Christmas Eve, of course, Christmas Day. By 3 o'clock Christmas Eve, we start that wall-to-wall Christmas music that you've grown to appreciate and enjoy so much. And so many fine sponsors in our area make that possible for you to enjoy commercial-free. We'll identify who's sponsoring the music from time to time, and it's great. We'll start that 3 o'clock Christmas Eve and all the way through Christmas Eve, Christmas night. Christmas Day is just nothing but good Christmas music to enjoy and reflect on the season. Some news from here and there. The Daily Courier's reported that a new ADA has joined the DA staff. A new assistant district attorney was sworn in. That's Corey McKinnon. He comes to District 29A, representing Rutherford and McDowell counties from the DA's office for Catawba and Burke counties, where he's been since May of 2017. He will serve as a Superior Court prosecutor. DA Ted Bell said he's been trying to get McKinnon to join his staff for some time, and finally everything fell into place. Salvation Army has been distributing gifts to 550 angels. The vacant warehouse at 150 Park Lane might seem to some an unlikely source of holiday joy. The wide, mostly empty space in Fred's Shopping Center in Rutherfordton, lit by long rows of fluorescent lights, is not stunningly attractive on its own, but the location serves as the Salvation Army's Christmas Cheer Center, offered each year as a donation by property owner Larry Elmore, and to the people inside is a blessing. And they've distributed a lot of gifts to a lot of people. So congratulations and thanks to the Salvation Army for what great work they do. Philanthropist Robert McNair, was remembered at the Board of Education meeting the other night, Daily Courier is reporting. And cars of different shapes and designs were among the toys made by woodworkers in Rutherford County. They created classic toys and giving those out this year as well. So a lot of good things going on. Other news from here and there. 6 students have been injured in school bus crash in McDowell County. McDowell County school officials said 6 students were injured in an accident on Thursday. The crash happened on California Avenue near Goforth Road around 3:30. North Carolina Department of Public Safety officials said the bus was traveling south on California Avenue when it traveled off the road and hit several trees on the right side of the bus. The bus eventually stopped against the trees. According to a post on the McDowell County Schools Facebook page, there were 28 middle and high school students on board the bus at the time of the crash. Meanwhile, over in Cleveland County, a man pleaded guilty Tuesday to propositioning a 15-year-old girl. Michael Morgan, 54, will serve a little more than 1.5 years in prison for sending sexually explicit messages and images to the friend of his teenage daughter in September after accepting a plea deal from the Cleveland County DA's office. Morgan was charged 2 counts originally. 2 counts of indecent liberties with a child, soliciting a child by computer, and disseminating obscene materials. He was convicted on one account of indecent liberties with a child and disseminating obscene material. The 2 met in September, and Morgan began to send her lewd texts, images on Snapchat, and asking her to perform various acts with him. There was never any sexual encounters between the 2, though, said the district attorney Elizabeth Laurie. Morgan will also be on supervised probation for 2.5 years and spend the next 30 years on the North Carolina Sex Offender Registry. Boy, I tell you, it just gets you in deep, deep trouble, guys, when you do stuff like that. Be smart. Well, the 2019 North Carolina Travel Guide Registry recommended Polk County as being a good place to spend the holidays and beyond. Polk County, chosen by the NC Travel Guide. The guide boasts about Polk County's wineries and experiences you can see throughout the season. On New Year's Eve downtown Tryon, they drop an exercise ball covered with holiday lights. The ball plays off the celebration in Times Square, but it drops at 9 p.m. so everybody can get to bed early. So that's one of the things they've done. Well, North Carolina voter ID faces court challenges immediately after GOP overrode Democrat governor's veto. Republican lawmakers, as you may have heard by now, in North Carolina, completed an override of Democratic Governor Roy Cooper's veto of a new voter ID this week, and immediately faced a challenge in court. 6 voters described as either black or biracial residents filed a lawsuit Wednesday, mere minutes after the State House voted to override the veto 72-40. The state Senate had voted to override Tuesday, according to the News and Observer of Raleigh. Republicans have blasted Cooper, who last week had said no to the legislation, even though more than 55% of the state's voters had approved it in a recent referendum. You have betrayed the majority of the hardworking, honest people in North Carolina who put this provision into our Constitution, said Representative Jimmy Dixon, said of Cooper. You should hang your head in shame. He vetoed the bill in spite of the fact the majority of voters in North Carolina think we need voter ID. And someone said, Mickey Michaud, I believe it was, said, we don't need something like that in North Carolina. Well, it's called preventive maintenance. Preventive maintenance. With all the stuff going on, shenanigans going on with voter ID, you see it in Florida. Now you see it in one of those districts out in North Carolina. Why not have it to ensure that folks that are not supposed to vote are not voting? Permitted IDs would include traditional driver's licenses and military identification, student IDs from colleges, universities, employee ID cards for state and local governments. Those IDs must meet certain security thresholds. So it is. It'll go to court, of course. The governor vetoed the bill. They overrode the veto. Now it's probably going to court. Well, you've heard about this triple amputee Air Force veteran on a mission to raise $1 billion for U.S.-Mexico border wall. Well, he's true to his word. 4 days, he's raised $11,111,594 in 4 days. We the People Will Fund the Wall, it's called. And GoFundMe is where folks are sending the money. He's a triple amputee veteran, and he decided that we needed the wall in America, USA. So and Congress keeps fighting over it. Democrats keep saying, no, we don't need a wall. And Republicans keep saying we do need a wall. And so he said, if there's no money there, let's fund it America. He said he started doing that after he heard them say there was no money to do it. If the 63 million people who voted for Trump each pledge $80, we can build a wall, he said. That equates to roughly $5 billion. Even if we get half, that's half the wall, we can do this. If the 63 million people who voted for Trump each pledge $80, we can build a wall. That equates to roughly $5 billion. So far, in 4 days, he's raised $11,111,594 on a GoFundMe page. Isn't that amazing? The people in Congress ought to recognize the American people want this. They want that security. They want that security in America. They wanted to stop hobnobbing around with our security and our giveaways and fund that wall. So that's what they're doing. And he's raised that money. I'm sure he will reach his goal before too long, and the money will be there. 20 minutes after 8 o'clock right here on WCAB's Morning Wake Up Call. My name's Bishop. Jim Bishop.
Try Insurance Service Associates, your local independent agent. We can shop your auto and home insurance with several companies to get you better coverage and the best rate. Insurance Service Associates at 127 East Trade Street in Forest City for auto, home, or commercial insurance. More choices, better coverage, best rate. That's Insurance Service Associates, 245-5301.
If you love beautiful original paintings, sculptures, and pottery, then a visit to Banfield Gallery in Forest City is a must. They're all handcrafted and one of a kind. Tom and Kathy Banfield are the owners and operators and have 15 different artists represented in the gallery. It is unlike anything we have in this area, and I want to encourage you to visit this week. Limited hours are Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. For those art lovers on your list or for your personal collection, get one of a kind at Banfield Gallery, 128 East Main Street, Forest City. It is really a pleasant experience to walk through Banfield Gallery in Forest City. Shipping is available and all major credit cards are accepted.
More than 1 million Americans have heart attacks each year. And if you or a loved one experiences symptoms of a heart attack, every second matters. That's why the emergency department at Rutherford Regional Health System is a chest pain accredited facility. What does that mean to you? It means quality care here at home that could save precious seconds when treating the symptoms of heart attacks. To learn more about Rutherford Regional and its commitment to safe quality care, visit myrutherfordregional.com.
The flu season will soon be upon us, and Smith Drugs of Forest City is ready to provide these immunizations at the drugstore at your convenience. We will bill your insurance, and one of our pharmacists can administer the vaccine to you Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. and on Saturdays by appointment only. Remember that a flu immunization is the best way to prevent getting the flu, In addition to washing hands, covering your mouth when you cough or sneeze, and staying home when you are sick. Prepare yourself and protect those around you with a flu immunization this year. Come see us at Smith Drugs of Forest City, 139 East Main Street.
Here now is David D. Lynn. He came with a report early this morning via telephone, and we recorded it for broadcast at this time. David D. Lynn?
Past 24 hours, we've had 95 calls for service. Looks like been 6 arrests and 153 in the jail. On incident reports, Lester Scott Nichols reported obtaining property by false pretense and identity theft. Rick Gene Bloomfield reported misdemeanor larceny. It looks like a chainsaw was stolen. And then on the arrest reports, we got Najee Jamal Green was arrested on failure to comply with child support, given a $500 bond. Anthony Koshan Hughes was arrested on failure to appear on a misdemeanor and was given a $500 bond. Georgina Ann West was arrested on 2 counts of violation of domestic violence protection order, and she was given no bond. Jeffrey Scott Toney was arrested for possession of Schedule II controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of marijuana paraphernalia, was given a $2,500 secure bond. And Tina Marie Hamrick was arrested on failure to appear on a misdemeanor and was given a $1,000 secure bond. And that's all I got for you.
The Holidays Are Calling sale is going on now at Carolina West Wireless. And this year, you can answer like a pro with iPhone and iPad specials for the whole family, including buy one, get one free iPhone 8s, $200 off iPads, and much more. Stop by our Forest City store for the Holidays Are Calling sale at Carolina West Wireless, connecting everyone for the holidays, whether at home or away. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
NCN Sports, I'm Tony Rixby. The Duke Blue Devils traveling as they have many times over the years to Madison Square Garden in New York last night, and there they passed a tough test against previously unbeaten Texas Tech. Mike Moriarty has the story.
The number 2 ranked Duke Blue Devils ended number 12 Texas Tech's unbeaten start to the season with a 69-58 victory at Madison Square Garden. Freshman phenom Zion Williamson led the way for Duke with 17 points and 13 boards before he fouled out late in the game. Fellow freshman guard Trey Jones added 13 points, 5 assists, and 6 steals. Tech had an 8-point lead in the second half as guard Jarrett Culver had a game-high 25 points, but it was not enough as the Red Raiders fell to a 10-1 record. Mike Moriarty, New York.
Jonathan Bernier stopped 38 shots. The Detroit Red Wings beat the Carolina Hurricanes 4-1 at PNC Arena in Raleigh. Jonathan Erickson, Franz Nielsen, and Dylan Larkin also scored to help the Red Wings win for the second time this season at PNC Arena. Canes coach Rod Brindamore disappointed after the game.
Good first period. Came ready to play. Had plenty of opportunities to probably at least be ahead. But it didn't happen, and then what happened was we got away from our game.
Isaiah Green, Keon Davis, and Brendan Knox led Marshall's bowl game victory on Thursday night. Green ran for a touchdown with 17 of 25 for 221 yards as the Thundering Herd knocked off South Florida 38-20 in the Gasparilla Bowl. Carolina Panthers have placed outside linebacker Shaq Thompson on injured reserve with a shoulder injury. The team signed undrafted rookie quarterback Kyle Allen to the active roster from the practice squad on Thursday. Second baseman Daniel Murphy reportedly signing a contract with the Colorado Rockies for 2 years, $24 million. You're listening to NCN Sports.
Voters have spoken in North Carolina. How can you make sense of what they said about the legislature, Congress, the courts, the Constitution? Carolina Journal helps answer those questions, and it helps you look ahead to 2019. Available each month as a free newspaper, every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
Who is the North Carolina High School Athletic Association?
We are over 200,000 student athletes.
We are dedicated educators, coaches, and mentors.
We're your neighbors and friends that put on the striped shirts and officiate the games you love every week.
We are 417 member high schools from small towns and big cities, anywhere from Murphy to Manteo.
We are making a difference and building leaders of communities for the next generation.
Who are we?
We are high school.
We are the NCHSAA.
The Super Bowl reportedly getting another big name to sign on to the halftime show. Matt Piper with the story.
On the big stage at next year's Super Bowl, joining Maroon 5, Travis Scott, as well as other not yet announced guests. TMZ says Adam Levine and his group is still trying to get Cardi B and Outkast's Big Boy to join them. Maroon 5 still hasn't officially been confirmed as the game's halftime performer, but multiple reports say they signed on weeks ago. But they've come under criticism for taking on the gig because it implies support of the NFL's stance toward Colin Kaepernick, who has protested during the national anthem. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Coming up tonight in the top 25, Gonzaga hosts Denver, Oakland at Michigan State. Tony Rixby, NCN Sports.
We're still under the influence of low pressure. That means plenty of clouds today. Rain is in the forecast. Have the umbrellas ready. And temperatures may be a touch warmer than they were yesterday afternoon. Our highs in the mid to upper 50s. Tonight, a chance for rain this evening with some cloud cover, but it clears out overnight. It's breezy and colder. The low in the mid to upper 30s. Saturday, Sunday, both look like pretty nice days, although Saturday will be the brightest. Breezy Saturday with a high temperature in the lower to mid 50s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
This is Mark Morris with Word of Faith Fellowship. We're so glad that you're listening today. We've been sharing about what Jesus has done in our lives. So many wonderful testimonies that God has done. And today I have another great testimony. I have Patty Welch with us, and she has been here for many years. She came from Oklahoma, and her story is truly amazing, how God has brought her through so many battles, and here she is today, and she has a wonderful life, and she's going to share with you all of the things that God has brought her through. So, Patty, go ahead.
Good morning, Mark. Thank you. Really, my testimony is a testimony of, I guess, deliverance and restoration. That would be my theme, and God has been so faithful to me. He has just restored, delivered me from many things. But I go way back 60 years ago. I was born in rural Oklahoma, very rural, very, very small rural country community. Spindale is a metropolis compared to where I grew up. And grew up the youngest of 3 children. And in our home, I guess you'd say we had a very divided home. My mother, on one hand, she was a Christian. She loved God. She served Him with everything that she knew how to serve Him. She was a very loving woman, very caring. She taught us children about God, about God's ways. She taught us there's a heaven, there's a hell. You have to have Jesus, or you won't make it to heaven. She put a good foundation in us. But at the same time, my father was a very, very hard-hearted man, a very violent man. He was full of a lot of anger, a lot of violence, a lot of rage. He was a very abusive man. He was very abusive to my mother, physically, mentally. He was very abusive to us children, both physically and mentally. I guess I saw firsthand both ways to live. I grew up in a home where I knew there was a choice to make. I could be good and serve God and do it the right way and have the blessings, or I could be like my dad. And, I so wanted to live like my mom. I wanted to live as the example had been set before me. But I also had a lot of the anger that my dad had on the inside of me. And the more that I saw of him, the more of the abuse that we went through, the beatings, the verbal abuse, the, just degrading of you, that began to take a toll. And as we got a little older, my oldest brother, he was about 7 years older than me. He had left home after he graduated. And my brother, just older than myself, were left at home, and we moved into a new home, and the abuse and the violence got even more so. And my mom, the reason that she kept staying, she kept thinking the scripture would always come to her, "Blessed is the peacemaker," so she thought she was trying to be the peacemaker, but there was no peace. It was hell on earth in our home. And being a small community that we were, everyone knew everyone. You were kin to half the people there. And so, you didn't let these things out, because my dad was a very well-known man in town. He provided for us very well. And so you can't allow the community to know what's going on behind closed doors. So you kept your mouth shut. You didn't say anything. I had one very good friend that knew the situation at home. She was the only friend that I had. I had a lot of friends, but she was the only one that I allowed to come to my house, really, because I didn't want anyone knowing what was going on. I wanted to hide it. And she knew. And when the beatings would come and the marks would be on your body, I played a lot of basketball. And so, being involved in sports like that, you have to dress out in the room with the other girls and all that. And I remember she would hide me behind the door, so to speak. She would become the door so that nobody could see the marks on me, so that, on my legs and things, so that we, so to speak, didn't get in trouble, didn't get my dad in trouble. So it was just a very, I'm not going to say it was confusing. It wasn't a confusing life. I saw very well what was before me. There was no confusion to it. It's just that because of the anger that I had on the inside of me that kept boiling up against him, and the hatred and the bitterness, the devil constantly told me, "You're going to be just like your father. You're going to be just like him. You can't serve God." I so wanted to, but I didn't feel like I could. I thought, I'm going to be just like my dad. I'm just like him. I'll never be able to come out of this. And so, it got so bad that when we moved into this new home, when the major abuse would take place with my mom would be when they went to bed at night. And my room was just across from theirs. And, you go to bed and that's all you could hear was the verbal abuse, the cursing, the screaming, the yelling, the degrading, all of that. And then you would start hearing the hits and the beats and the fist and then I'd hear my mom begging, "Don't do it, please, 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 Paul, don't do it again." And as a child, it just rips you to shreds. It really does. And it builds, for me anyway, it built a lot of anger on the inside of me. A lot of that same murder. I wanted to kill him. I really did. It was not a good situation. And so it got to the point, my brother and I, as we got a little older, we decided to take hands in our own matter. And so we would go in there at night and try to stop it. So he had, my dad had locks put on the outside of the door so that he could lock us in the bedroom and beat her up. And so we would have to listen to it and could do nothing about it. And it really took a toll on us. It really took a toll on my brother especially. He would stay in his room and just beat his fist against the wall, letting out all his anger because he could do nothing to help. And so my mother would leave periodically from time to time. She would leave and take us with her, but it usually lasted a day or two. He would always come back, and he knew the one way to get her back home was not roses or candy, but it was to tell her that he got saved. So that's what he did. It was a game he played, and he did it over and over again. He'd come back and he'd say, I've gotten born again, I've gotten saved, I'm going to change. And so we'd go back, and within one day it was all back, to the same. So I truly believed everything about God. I believed in God. I believed in heaven and hell. I believed in that it was the right way to live. Once again, I just did not think. I bought the lie that I could not make it. And so there was something on the inside of me, though, that loved my dad. As horrible as he was, there was just something, he's my dad. And I remember as a child, I wanted to help him. I wanted to help him. I thought there's got to be help, but I didn't know of any help. I knew the one thing I missed growing up was I learned about the saving power of God, and I learned about the healing power of God, but I never learned about the delivering power of God. I did not understand that Jesus came not only to save us and to heal us, but to deliver us of all these things that are in us, and all these situations that the devil brings into our life. And so I was searching for that love. My dad, I wanted to feel the love from my dad, and I never did. And I was just searching for that. And so by the time that I was 14, I started dating and got very involved with a boy my age, 15 years old. We became very involved in a relationship, and I became pregnant at 15. And thinking all the time that now I have found that love that I've been searching for, And so I just gave myself wholeheartedly to him. We had our daughter, but the bubble got burst when the day she turned 2 months old. He left. He was just we were children having children, and didn't know Jesus, and it was rough on him. He could not face that responsibility, so he left. And then all that devastation hit again, all the worthlessness that you feel, and once again the devil coming telling you can't make it, you're not any good, you'll never be able to do what's right, no matter if you want. I actually felt my whole life like Paul said in Romans, where he said, the things that I really want to do, I can't do. But the things that I don't want to do, I find myself doing them. And that was me. That was me exactly. And so he left. I'm 16 now. I'm left alone with a child to raise. And so I decided to go ahead and it was the summer between my senior year, and I decided I really wanted to finish high school. So I went ahead and finished my high school year, and towards the end of that year, I met Terry Welch, who would become my husband. And we started dating, and Terry and I were total opposites. He was into drugs very much. He drank. He was into drugs. He was older than me. He was about 23, and the life that he lived and the life that I lived were totally opposite. Even with all the sins that I gave to, I had a restraint. I had a restraint on my heart from the foundation that I did have in me, but I never went into drugs or drinking, or I never did any of that. I just was full of murder and anger and rage. A lot of bitterness on the inside of me, and so when my daughter's father had left me, produced even more bitterness then. And so Terry and I started dating, and even though I did not agree with his lifestyle, I didn't like it. Once again, that lie was there. We'll just go full force into this, and this relationship, and your life's going to change. You're going to find that love that you're looking for. So that's what I did. Became pregnant again with my oldest son. Now I'm 17, and I'm having my second child, getting married again, and the two lifestyles just didn't work. They don't work. So by the time that I was 18, I had been married twice, divorced twice, and had 2 children. So we divorced. Terry left. Here I am. Now here I am again. Now I'm 18. I'm a single mother again. I have 2 children. I have no job. So I was forced to go back and live with my parents again. And I didn't want to, simply because of knowing what I would put my children in. I so wanted my children to know Jesus, even though I didn't know him. I wanted them to know him, and I did not want them to have to go through what I had gone through. And my father really, really hated Terry a lot. I mean, he hated him a lot. And so because of that, my father loved my daughter, and I'd never seen him show affection until I had my daughter, but he showed her affection. And but then when I had my son and I moved back home with him, because of the way he felt towards my son's father, he began to abuse him. And he was just a 2-year-old child. And he really began to, it was the verbal abuse was always there, but then the physical started. And I knew I could not stay there. Job or no job, whatever, I could not stay there. I could not put my children through what I had gone through, especially my son. So my aunt gave me a job. I worked in the cabinet shop for about 6 or 7 years, built bathroom vanities, and loved it. A lot of hard work, but a lot of growing up, that it afforded me. My aunt even purchased a small home, remodeled it so that we could move in there. So we moved in there. I sent my children to church with my mom, even though I still didn't go. Once again, wanting them to do what was right, and wanting to secretly myself, just still not thinking I could. You can't do it. You can't live this kind of life. You'll never be able to. So after a few years, I didn't have relationships. I didn't date. I did nothing but work, take care of my children. And after a few years, loneliness, I guess you'd say, started to set in, And so I got involved with a man that was older than me, quite a bit older than me, and started having a relationship with him, once again trying to feel and find that love that I was searching for. And the one thing that I didn't say was, I'll go ahead and say this first. Whenever I got involved with him, I became pregnant again for the 3rd time with my youngest son. And I knew marriage was not the route, and he knew that. That was not the route at all. And I just really, that's when the drawing power of God really came into my life and my heart. Even though it had been there all my life, I was desperate. And I just began to cry out to God. I cried out to God. I sought for God with all my heart. And I started going back to the church that I had left as a teenager. That's where my mother was going, taking my children. So I started going back to this church and just seeking God with everything in me. I had my youngest son, and he has been the biggest blessing in my life. My children are all blessings, but he has really been a blessing. He's still here with me today. We still, he's married now, has 2 children, and his children attend Word of Faith Christian School. So I began then the walk of trying to serve God and live for God and raise my children that way. And at times it wasn't easy financially or in any other way, but God was always there. God was always there for me. He always met every need that I had. And I never knew how, but he always met it, I would just ask him, God, I need this or I need that, or please help me, or, and even with the children, when I would feel that anger, the frustration that you get, as a parent, sometimes you feel frustrated, you can't help them or whatever. I would feel that, and I would go to God. I began to feel the anger start to go away. I knew it was still there, deep down, but I didn't feel the, like I had growing up. And at that point in my life, when I really began to seek God like that, I knew I had to go back to my dad, because God began to show me through the scriptures that if you don't forgive, you can't be forgiven. And I knew that as much as God had forgiven me, I knew I needed to forgive my dad. And I just began to feel that love, just a love for him that I had never felt before. A compassion came in me for him, because I realized as much as I didn't think I could help my anger, he certainly, obviously, didn't think he could help his. So I went back to him, and I just told him, I said, Daddy, I love you. I want you to know Jesus has come into my heart. I'm trying to serve Jesus, and he's forgiven me of a lot. And I said, I want you to know that I forgive you. And, for the first time, I never, ever saw my dad have any emotion other than anger. And for the first time, I saw tears come in his eyes. And he didn't respond. He couldn't say anything. He just nodded his head, but tears were in his eyes. And I said, "And I want you to forgive me," because I said, "I have hated you, and I want you to forgive me." And he just nodded his head like that. He didn't say anything. So I felt literally a weight lift off it. It's like it lifted off of me whenever I forgave him. You know, there's a lot of healing in forgiveness. There's a lot of healing in forgiveness. And I never thought I would be able to forgive him. And I couldn't have without Jesus. But with Jesus, you know, his love, just as the Bible says, it covers a multitude of sins. So as we began to go on with our lives, my children and I, when my youngest son was about 2, I got a phone call from Terry's mother. She said, "Patty, you're not going to believe this, but Terry's given his heart to Jesus. And he's wanting to serve God, but this is Friday. He doesn't know what to do, whatever. Can he come to your house and just talk to you?"
This is your former husband.
Yes.
You were married to him at 16 or 17.
Married
divorced.
him at 17.
Many years later, you're hearing from his mother?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so this is 6 years later. And so he came over to the house. We just struck up a relationship. And really, at that point, all we had to talk about was, we didn't talk about our ex-life. We talked about Jesus. He was so on fire for God. He so wanted to serve God. I mean, his whole life, he was a totally different man. He wanted to serve God. He didn't want to be a drug addict anymore. And he really got on fire for God. He felt like God was calling him to preach, and he started going to little churches and preaching, and some people can relate to this. We were so on fire for God. We were so hungry for God. We so wanted God, and we were teaching this to our children, having Bible studies with them every night. But at the same time, we had a lot of strife between us still. As I said earlier, that's the one thing I never found out about Jesus. And it was his deliverance, that you can be delivered from these things that you have allowed on the inside of you. He still had a lot from his past of the drugs, and I still had a lot of the anger still in me. And so we had a lot of strife. We had strife between the two of us. There was strife between us and the children. There was strife between our children and each other. There was just strife in our home. And so Terry had a sister that lived in Muskogee, Oklahoma. Some people have heard of it. And we felt like God told us to move up there and start going to the church. We were just searching for a church. We were searching and hungry for a church that could give us what we needed, because we weren't ignorant of the fact that our home life was not right, but yet our hearts were after God. So we moved up there and began to go to the church that his sister attended. We became very, very involved in that church. I was the children's church leader. Terry was right-hand man to the pastor. I mean, we were just very involved in the church. And as we were there, we began to hear a lot of different ministers through tapes and different things. And during this time, back to my mom and dad, my mother had finally left him once and for all. She had divorced him, and they were divorced, and she had a gentleman that they had both known from way back when they were teenagers had come over to her house, and they were going to he had been gone for years. They were going to sit down and just, talk, rehearse old times, whatever. My dad drove by, saw his truck parked at my mom's house, and the one thing that my dad had always said my whole life was, he had always told my mom, if anything ever happens to me and you're ever with another man, I will kill you, I will kill him, and then I'll kill myself. Yeah, that's what he always said. I heard that my whole life. So he drove by, saw the car parked there. My dad always carried a gun with him everywhere he went. And he broke into the home, knocked the door down. The man started to exit out the back door. My dad shot at him. He meant to kill him, but he just winged his shoulder, basically. When he saw that he'd only winged his shoulder, he pistol whipped him till he was, beaten pretty bad. And then my dad fled. So the authorities picked him up, and he was put in jail. And he was given and you know more of the language than me. He was given put on bail, put on bond, whatever. So my dad had a lot of connections, and he had money, and so he got out instantly. He bought his way out very quickly. So I have all this going on, knowing this is going on, and he's waiting for his court date. And at the meantime, then Terry's sister Nancy had gotten involved with a woman who knew Sam and Jane Whaley from here, and she was listening to their tapes, and they had just built the new building here in Spindale back, I don't remember how many years ago that was, and so she was coming down for the seminar they were going to have and the dedication of the building. She came for that, and when she came back, she was a changed woman, and she said, "You all have got to go. They're having a youth seminar in August. You've got to go. You've got to take the children. There's answers there for you. There's answers," because she knew how we struggled in our own personal life, And so Terry and I started listening to the tapes of Sam's preaching and Jane's preaching, and it gave me so much hope. They talked about a God that was the God that I wanted to serve. A God of love, a God of compassion, a God that could not only save you and heal you, but could deliver you of these things that were in you that you thought you couldn't break free of. And so as I began to listen to the tapes, I got a lot of hope in me. And I remember back then we didn't have cell phones. I wrote my dad a letter, and I said, "Daddy, there's hope." It's like a light bulb went off on the inside of me. There is hope. We don't have to be this way. You can come out of it. You don't have to. I wrote him a long letter. "Please come with us. We're going to North Carolina. We're going to visit this church. Come with us. You can get deliverance along with me." And I told him, I said, "Daddy, the one thing that I've learned is it's demons. That's why you act the way you do. It's demons, and you can get rid of them. You can be set free." And, Mark, the Bible talks about that. That's just not something that's floating around out there. The Bible, Jesus taught us. In Ephesians 2, it says that we all of us, that we were under the sway and the control of that demon power. And, until Jesus comes in your heart and you allow him to start controlling you, you're under the sway and the control of that demon power. And you need that deliverance. You need Jesus to come in and set you free of that. And so when I learned that, I got so excited. He wrote me a letter back and thanked me very much. And he said, "Honey," he'd never called me honey in his life. He said, "Honey, I know it's demons." But he said, "I can't get free." He said, "There's no hope for me." Once again, I called him. "Yes, you can. Come with us, He wouldn't do it. So we came for the seminar. We were here for that week, went back home. We knew we had to move here. We came back here, moved here, and our lives changed. Our lives began to change. The ministers here, all the friends here that we had, they began to teach us God's ways. They began to show us that there is a way out. We began to get prayer, and our hearts and lives changed. But after about 6 years of being here, at some point in Terry's heart, he began to draw back away from God again. And he began to have those desires to go back to the old lifestyle again. So even though the help was here for him, he chose. He didn't want that help. And so he left us, the family, he left my son and I, the church, and he went back to Oklahoma. And the next 12 years of his life the devil wreaked havoc on his life. He went into the very depths of sin that no man ever needs to go in. The drugs that he went into, a lot worse drugs than he'd ever been in before. He became a drug dealer. I mean, it was bad. After 12 years of that, he came to the end of his rope, and but he had that foundation on the inside of him from what God had taught him here through the ministers here. He knew there was help, and he knew that all he had to do was cry out to God, and that God would somehow come to him. And so that's what he began to do. He began to cry out to God with all of his heart, and as he cried out to God, God just began to just reveal himself to him and just have him to repent and just repent. And then he told him, he said, "You need to go back." He said, "You need to go back to the shepherds that I put you under." And Terry knew what that meant. And it took a humble heart for him to humble his heart and come back and face me, face our son, face the church, face, his pastors after knowing everything that he had done. But, all he found here was the love and the mercy of God. That's all he found. And the difference when he came back, the difference this time and last time was he had a humble heart this time. And the Bible says that it's only a humble man that can receive from God. And that's what he did. He opened his heart up and he just began to receive. He received the love of God. He received the ministers of God. He received the friends helping him. And he just began for the first time in his life to serve God with a humble heart and truly love God. And he got very involved in the prison ministry that our church has here. And, over the years, God had, while he was even gone, God even began to set me more free of the bitterness, the anger, the unforgiveness. I could freely forgive him because I had freely been forgiven, And out of that place, in 2015, then he found out that he had cancer, and so then God walked us through that. God was there once again. The mercy of God was there for that. The grace of God was there for that. And 1 year later, exactly almost to the day that we found out he had cancer, he passed away in October of 2016. But the restoration that God brought to us, we got, I don't think I mentioned, we got remarried after he came back. He was here for about a year and we got remarried. So we were married 7 years the last time, and this time we did it God's way, and he just showed us. He walked us through with all the forgiveness and the love, and we never looked back, And that's the way that's what God has for each of us if we turn our hearts to him, is to deliver us and set us free of all these things and let the forgiveness come and just serve him.
And that's so powerful, Patty. Thank you so much. What a miracle you are. You've been through so much, all the way back I'm just thinking about your childhood, and then all of a sudden at age 16, 17, you were married twice, divorced twice, 2 children, and looking for love. Yes. And here it is. God brings you to the place to teach you his ways, to set you free. What a powerful testimony. And so thank you again for listening to Word of Faith Fellowship, sharing with you what God has done in our lives. And so we are here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8:30 to 9. We will not be here this coming Monday. WCAB has another program lined up, but we will pick back up next Wednesday. And thank you so much for listening.
Your Christmas music station for the foothills is WCAB. Stay with us throughout the season for your favorite WCAB Rutherford.
I'm Sherry Preston. Partial government shutdown now just hours away, and at the center of the funding fight, billions for the border wall.
President Trump declaring on Twitter Friday morning, quote, shut down today if Democrats do not vote for border security. The Senate could vote on the bill passed by the House last night that funds the government and provides